Hello, in this video I want to address something that I found very weird about the Andrew Tate phenomenon, and I won't talk about why he became so popular, what weird circumstances in Western society led to that. There are many other videos that discuss that topic. I want to talk about a bizarre alliance that formed between Islamic fundamentalists and far-right people on YouTube and probably on other forms of social media. So both groups actually claim that Andrew Tate is completely innocent and that there is this nefarious matrix conspiracy formed against him in order to persecute him because he spoke the truth in the era of lies or something like that. And what I found bizarre about it is that for a long time the ultimate enemy of the far-right people in the West was the Islamic fundamentalists, and the Taliban are quite openly supporting Andrew Tate on Twitter and claiming he is innocent. But okay, let us first address this accusation that was often pointed against people on the left, or at least a small subset of people on the left that allied themselves with Islamic radicals. And I'm not talking about what Lenin did when he allowed Chechens to fight in the Red Army. That was a very logical thing to do because the white armies were a more powerful enemy, and both from the perspective of the Chechens and the Red Army, the white armies were a bigger threat. And here we can see a communist poster that glorifies a woman from Kyrgyzstan joining the Communist Party. But the term that was coined by the right-wingers is Islamo-leftism, and when you Google the term, you'll actually see that according to Alan Badiou and Eric Hazan, the term was allegedly first time used by the French police for reasons of simple utility, but Al Jazeera claims that Marine Le Pen was the first one to use the term. But okay, for the purpose of this video, it's not even that important to me who coined the term, but I would agree with this accusation that some leftists did see Islamic radicals as their allies because they agreed with them when it comes to anti-Zionism, anti-globalism, anti-imperialism. And the accusation was, well, how can you ally yourself with somebody that is so opposed to things that are so important to you? For example, the Islamic radicals, they would kill gay people, kill transgender people. They are generally anti-feminism. How can you ally yourself with such people? And to an extent, that's a valid argument. Of course, history is full of examples when completely different ideologies formed an alliance because it was in their interest. For example, Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, at that particular point, it was in the interest of both Hitler and Stalin to not go to war with each other and to conquer Poland. And many did accuse Stalin for hypocrisy. And many actually warned him that in the end Hitler would be a bigger threat than the capitalist colonialist countries. And that is the same warning that many have for the leftists that defend Islamic radicals. They tell them, well, in the end you will see that Islamic fundamentalism is a bigger evil than all the things that are wrong with the West, with Western society. And that seems to me to be a very reasonable argument. But what is absurd is that in today's society, leftists actually could make the very same argument to people on the right. If you look at the Tucker Carlson interview with Andrew Tate, and Tucker Carlson, I believe, could be described as a Christian nationalist that hates the Taliban, he never asks Andrew Tate to condemn the Taliban, nor does he mention for example, all the horrible atrocities that the Taliban are committing. And I don't think that Andrew Tate should be asked to condemn the Taliban simply because he's Muslim. I don't think that every Muslim guy should be asked, hey, what do you think about the Taliban? But when the Taliban are actively supporting you on Twitter, when they actively see you and try to portray you to their people as a symbol of Western decadence being replaced by Islam, well, then I believe you as an interviewer have a duty to ask that uncomfortable question. What do you think about the Taliban, for example, killing Christian apostates in their country? Especially if you're a Christian or a far-right Christian nationalist. And okay, one might ask, why is there a picture of Pinochet on the screen? Well, I remembered that Pinochet famously was a fan of Milton Friedman, a right-wing economist that then later famously condemned Pinochet and said, well, look, I'm glad he likes my libertarian economic policy, but Pinochet is a horrible guy. I'm against him killing the communists in his own country. And it would be nice to hear Andrew Tate say something like that about Christians in Afghanistan, or about the destruction of polytheistic temples that's also happening in Afghanistan. But quite surprisingly, I actually read an article that claimed that the Taliban decided to stop destroying the Buddhist monuments that existed in Afghanistan for thousands of years. And why did they stop? And most of these monuments are located in the province of Nuristan. Well, they stopped because they like Chinese investment. And this actually new bizarre alliance is also being formed between Afghanistan and China, and it is precisely because the Taliban, they don't want to piss off the Chinese investors, and that's why they decided to temporarily, at least, to preserve the Buddhist cultural monuments in their own country, because the Chinese Communist Party, well, they don't like the destruction of Buddhist monuments. Well, at least when somebody else does it. They did it actually in their own past, if we take a look at what Mao Zedong did during the Cultural Revolution. But okay, that's all for this video, and I just wanted to inform you about this weird alliance that's mostly happening online. Actually, I'm not sure how relevant it is in the real world, but yeah, that's all for this video, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you liked the video.